Let me ask you a question. Have you ever spent hours and hours researching a financial topic on Google only to be left confused and stuck, not knowing what to do next? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to clear up all the confusion and the noise and misinformation that keeps most people struggling year after year and at the mercy of debt and unexpected expenses, ultimately left empty-handed. I'm going to give you our 4 cornerstones, principles to help you solve these problems once and for all, get the clarity you're looking for, take back control, and make lasting progress in your financial life. My name is Luke Kibler. I own Vantage Insurance Solutions, and we make it our mission to educate people with honesty about the truth of how to do financial planning in today's economic environment. Before I get into the 4 cornerstones, I want to talk to you about something called triage, financial triage. Let me illustrate it to you like this. If you were an EMT and you rolled up on a multi-car accident on the freeway, the first thing you do is triage. What that means is you would figure out who needs your help most. There might be people screaming and people scared and all kinds of things going on in the chaos, but you're going to be looking for that person who isn't breathing, that person who may be hanging on to life by a thread. And those are the people that get your help first. That's what triage is. Triage is dealing with the most important things and keeping it simple and clear as to what matters most. And in financial triage, we are doing that same thing, helping you clarify the top priorities and keeping it simple so that you can follow a plan that will work in real life. So let's jump into what the 4 cornerstones actually are. Okay, so this first cornerstone is protection. This is like laying the foundation for your financial house. This is what makes sure the house still gets built if unexpected tragedy strikes and different things occur. Just like we know it takes time to build wealth, it takes time to pay off debt. All these things are going to happen typically over the course of 30 or 40 years of your working life. But if something unexpected happens, a disability, a main breadwinner in the family passes away, that whole financial plan goes out the window. It's over if you don't have this first cornerstone in place. This is what makes sure the house gets built, even if these storms strike. And so that's why protection is the foundational element of the 4 cornerstones, helping sustain the rest of the building of this financial house, even if these things happen. Cornerstone number 2 is emergency funds, liquidity, the ability to deal with life's punches. None of us gets a free pass. Let's just be honest. No one escapes the unexpected things. And usually it comes in threes. The car breaks down, the roof leaks, the dog needs to go to the vet, and you've got all these bills mounting up. And for most people, that's when their whole financial plan comes crashing down. That's when they have to start all over again. When you have proper emergency funds set up, when you have the ability to deal with the unexpected, your plan gets to continue. So not only is the emergency fund cornerstone part of building wealth, it's also part of protecting the house you're building and the other assets and investments you plan to make in the future. This gives you the ability to be incredibly flexible financially and avoid going back into the slavery and tyranny of debt. Rule of thumb here is the money is safe, that it's liquid, meaning you can get to it at any time, and ideally 3 to 6 months worth of your income needs at minimum. It's not a bad idea to have the goal to work up to even a year's worth of your income needs so that you could sustain having to change jobs or move or other longer lasting emergencies and unexpected expenses. Cornerstone number 3, financing, short-term savings. So you have these essential 2 buckets of money in your financial life. One is the emergency fund bucket that protects from the unexpected, but then as a separate bucket, you really should be building this financing short-term savings pool of money. This money that is actually planned expenses like the next vacation, the next car you're going to buy, down payment on a house, all those kinds of things. You have to finance your life in some way, and doing so proactively helps you keep a whole lot more of your money. You'll see here a blank on the screen what the average American loses as a percentage of their income due to finance costs. So in other words, what would you guess the average American spends purely on interest payments to the bank, on credit cards and student loans and car loans and mortgages? How much of their income just goes to service interest? What do you think that number is? Well, you might be shocked to find out it's 34%. The average American, in other words, gives away over a third of their life's earnings to finance costs, just purely interest to finance their life. What if we could keep that money? What if we could find a way to keep that 34%? Well, By default, you'd be 34% wealthier than the average American just by solving that problem. So that's a critical element of financial planning, having a strategic way to finance your life for those planned expenses. As the old saying goes, it doesn't matter how much you make, it matters how much you keep. The last cornerstone number 4, is investing. Building wealth, probably more aggressively, in ways like the stock market, real estate, business ventures, these things that have the potential for faster gains and greater gains, but they also involve risk. And they're things that you need to be able to stick out for the long term. And that's why it's the 4th cornerstone. What happens in reality is many times people build part of a plan where they perhaps take care of a little bit of cornerstone number 1, and then they like to jump right over to cornerstone number 4 and start working on investing and throwing money at stocks and other things. And it's not much different than just going to Vegas and gambling and hoping to get rich. And it's not all that shocking when we find that the first unexpected expense, the first emergency that pops up, the whole plan comes crashing down and they have to start all over again. So the idea here is to systematically follow a plan that puts you in a place of being more and more financially bulletproof every year that goes by. Every year that goes by, you have more financial strength, liquidity, and more growth that you can sustain because of following this process in order, narrowing it down to these 4 simple cornerstones of building a sound financial house. You now have seen the 4 cornerstones. First thing I'd encourage you to do is just take inventory of your own life. As you look through those 4 cornerstones, ask yourself perhaps what's missing, or what do you need to work on? What can you grow in? That will help you identify a good starting point with some of the principles you saw in the video today. Lastly, would really love to hear your feedback on this video. What stood out to you? If there's things you want to learn more about, go ahead and throw some things in the comments below, and we'll continue to add those things to future videos based on your feedback. And if you want to learn more about Vantage Insurance Solutions, head on over to vantageinsurancesolutions.com, where you can find more educational resources and get in touch with us if we can be of service. Thanks again for your time and watching this video, and we'll see you next time.